Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Cult Classic Podcast. We are not experts. We are not critics. We're just three friends that like watching movies and talking about them. So if you're looking for a movie club or just like talking about movies after watching them, you've come to the right place. Cameron Jones here with my co-host,
Mark Nussle.
Jordan Jones.
And we're doing something a little different today. This podcast has evolved since we've gone on, and we've kind of found a comfortable format. And one of the first movies we did was the 1989 film, The Burbs, with Tom Hanks. So if it's okay with you guys, do you guys want to redo The Burbs?
I'm okay with that.
Are you asking me or the audience?
Oh, yeah.
I don't give a shit what the audience
Just answered.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, well, we're going to dive right back into the 1989 film, The Burbs. The Burbs is the story of a paranoid group of neighbors who believe that their neighbors, the Klopeks, are murderers.
He's a stranger in an even stranger land, suburbia.
This movie is a perfect example of why you don't get involved. If Ray would have just minded his own business, he would have had a fine vacation.
This is a perfect example why you don't say hi to your neighbors.
From the guy who brought you Gremlins, Small Soldiers,
Inner Space,
Joe Dante, starring Tom Hanks, Bruce Dern,
You've got a horse in the basement?
Rick Ducommun,
That's my note.
Carrie Fisher, Corey Feldman,
hey, the pizza dude.
Henry Gibson, Theodore Gottlieb.
All Ray Peterson wanted was a little time at home on his vacation. But what he got was a big surprise from his neighbors, the Klopeks.
The Burbs.
Alrighty, cast and crew. Director Joe Dante. He also did Gremlins.
Go back and see our Gremlins episode.
Inner Space. I actually haven't seen Inner Space.
It's come up before, but possibly just on the first version of this podcast. It's not a great movie, but I do like it. It was a weird childhood classic for me and our family.
For
Maybe not
me,
our family.
my childhood classic was Small Soldiers. He also did Small Soldiers. Love
Nice.
Small Soldiers.
Great movie. Also, weirdly, one of those like movie games I played on PlayStation 1 that I got really into.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Dante is famous for horror movies, though, so therefore there is kind of like a cult classic or cult following of his movies.
I'd say like B horror movies,
Yeah.
Pariah, The Howling.
We have Tom Hanks plays Ray Peterson.
You should know who Tom Hanks is.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Tom Hanks role? Quickly, I can't think of anything. Saving Private Ryan.
Forrest Gump.
Saving Private Ryan's maybe my favorite movie of his.
Yeah, it's on
but
my
we just did A League of Their Own, and Drunk Jimmy Dugan is mwah.
Yeah,
Catch Me If You Can. That one's up there.
Ooh, actually, yeah, Catch Me If You Can. Maybe.
Catch Me If You Can was a big change in Tom Hanks' acting career. He's like, I'm just going to do a Boston accent.
Oh, there's cast. Oh, there's so much. There's
I
so
mean,
much.
you
knock.
can't pick.
Bruce Dern plays Mark Rumsfield.
Bruce Dern got a start in TV westerns in the 50s. He's a journeyman actor. I don't think he's been a starring guy. Did a lot of westerns in the early 60s and 70s.
Also, more recently, you might remember Nebraska. That was an Oscar nom that he starred in from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he's now just in Oscar-nominated movies as the old man actor in Nebraska. He is in Hateful Eight, Hollywood.
He was in Small Soldiers.
Once Upon a Time in
was.
Hollywood. Was he?
So he's a Joe Dante
Nice.
Yep. Carrie Fisher plays Carol Peterson.
guy. I mean, obviously, Star Wars. This was kind of a bridge movie after the Star Wars franchise, if I'm not mistaken.
She was in this. She's the best friend, and When Harry Met Sally
yeah.
comes out around this time period.
It's always like a nice oh yeah when like you realize that she's in this movie. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't think
completely.
of Carrie Fisher when I think of this
I
movie.
would not say this is a Carrie Fisher movie. Outside of Star Wars, I don't think she got a big chance to be the leading lady, and she went into like best friend roles, supporting
Right.
what have you.
Right.
Daughter of Debbie Reynolds,
Right.
Singing in the Rain. And go back to listen to our episode on Halloween Town.
Rick Ducommun plays Art Weingartner.
He passed away in middle age, kind of pretty young. You would know him from an episode we did, Spaceballs. He is the Spaceball that says, yeah, they beat the shit out of us too when they take his clothing.
Stole our clothes and beat the shit out of us too.
I mean, a starring role just to give some respect, though. Blank Check, the Disney movie, he's the driver in that.
Has a small cameo in Groundhog's Day. He plays the drunk, essentially.
All right.
Yeah, and that's all I know.
He's the dad in the first Scary Movie.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, that must be near his last role.
Yeah, honestly, probably.
Like, for real.
Wendy Shaw plays Bonnie Rumsfield. She's also in Inner Space. I think she's the mom in Small Soldiers too. So
Okay, another
She's in Team
Dante
Joe
Lass.
Dante. I like it.
nice. I do like when companies kind of stick together with
Yep.
directors and stuff, and this is
Yeah.
another one.
Oh, yeah, I do love that.
I've always wanted to be in one of those.
Henry, you are in one.
Yeah, I know. Just start making more stuff for me.
Henry Gibson plays Dr. Warner Klopek.
This is the main thing I know him from. I think he might be in Luck of the Irish.
He's
as
definitely
well.
in Luck of the
He's in Luck
Irish.
of the
That's
Irish.
that's what I know him from.
The Disney made-for-TV movie.
I know he plays the priest in Wedding Crashers, and I'm like,
right.
it's Mr. Klopek.
Yeah.
Doc.
He's in Blues Brothers too, like head Nazi or something.
Oh, yeah, and he looks pretty much the same in every movie. He's one of those
Always had white hair. Yeah.
Theodore Gottlieb plays Reuben Klopek.
Brother Theodore. We did talk about this in the
Brother
first time we did this podcast, but I don't think we ever found a definite answer why his name is Brother Theodore. I'm going to assume he's
I
a
always
monk.
thought it's because he is the brother to Dr. Klopek. Like
Brother
Brother Theodore.
But Theodore is his real name.
Theodore's his name.
But on IMDb,
Brother Theodore.
it does say Brother Theodore.
That is okay.
Maybe
That's-
just-
We're never going to get to the bottom
Hey,
of this.
maybe he's just super groovy, and that's just a name that started sticking back in the day, and he's just, hey, it's Brother Theodore.
It's not the vibe I got from
I'm
but
not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
I do know this. I've been walking around old cemeteries in Chicago, Rose Hill Cemetery and Graceland
You've just been
Cemetery.
walking around in them.
Yeah, like taking like cemetery walks during the day. It's just
Okay.
kind of like a park
Sure.
that's instead of filled with people, it's filled with dead people and gravestones.
Right,
But
right,
it's
right.
quiet, it's nice, it's peaceful. It's a way to get a lot of steps.
usually, yeah.
Anyway, a lot of these German grave markers will have like a family plot, and it'll be like the Klopeks, and it'll be like Brother Theodore,
that's
Mother
fun.
whatever, and that so maybe it's like
Maybe
that.
it's just that.
Just real creepy German stuff. Is Klopeks German?
Slavic? Is that Slavic?
Oh, yeah.
It must be
Nice.
Catholic, huh? This is actually the last movie he was in.
Oh, really?
Is that for real?
It's for real.
Is it the first movie he's in? He seems like
No,
a silent
definitely
air
not
guy.
the first movie, but definitely the last.
Well, he went out with a bang.
Courtney Gaines plays Hans Klopek.
Hans Christian Andersen.
Back to the Future, Children of the Corn.
Never seen him.
Oh,
I hear
yeah, he
they
hasn't
shot
shot-
in Iowa or are maybe set in Iowa.
Whoop, whoop.
And that'll be a little precursor to some bullshit about this
You should
movie.
give us a whoop whoop.
Whoop,
Ooh,
whoop.
whoop,
Iowa.
whoop.
Yeah, yeah.
We're from Iowa.
The Insane Clown Posse.
He's in one of my
That's a
favorite
whoop, whoop.
Jones classic movies, ones that we love as a family, but maybe aren't popular worldwide. Memphis Belle, check him out.
Fine Harry Connick Jr. flick as well.
Should I touch on it? Else? Dick Miller plays the Garbage Man, and Robert Picardo plays the other Garbage Man.
No, but I do want to talk about the Garbage Man later out because I fucking love those
Oh,
guys.
let me mention this. Music by Jerry Goldsmith, and he's just done a slew of things.
It seems like he works with Joe Dante, right? Because I think he did the music for Gremlins as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Definitely did Gremlins, but that's not his most known one. He did Mulan.
Oh.
Hold on one sec here. Speed. So we had to
We've
have talked about this
him
guy
in all
before.
those.
Yeah.
I do
Air Force
remember,
One,
though,
Small Soldiers again. I love Small Soldiers.
comparing this to Gremlin, very similar score.
Yeah, well, funny enough, it was the end credits. I'm like, huh. Well, yeah. During the end credits, I was like, wow, this sounds really familiar. Just kind of sounds like Gremlins. And then I did piece it together. I'm like, oh, wait, that's because I think it's all connected.
As guys that, maybe don't compose music, but write music, if you got in the wheelhouse, it's like, I can get you something.
Oh, wait. It says conductor here. So he does the orchestral stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not written by, he just conducts the orchestra.
Sorry, yeah, I did say composed by. He's the conductor.
Nice.
Just wanted to clarify.
Okay. Let's move it on to Unverified.
Unverified. Okay, so Walter's toy poodle Queenie was played by the same dog that played Precious in Silence of the Lambs. Queenie Precious. The dog's name is actually Darcy. So
What range?
what a range! Yeah,
There's some dark tones to this movie, but I wouldn't say Silence of the Lambs.
she had a nice close up.
Yeah, big parts in both movies.
Took a dump right on screen.
You know what? There were some darker tones initially, though. What would you think of this? They were originally going to kill the character of Ray. It was actually just going to be Klopek killing him, not like the house explosion, but audiences didn't like that, and they didn't want to kill Tom Hanks, obviously. But there were also two different versions at the end of who was going to be in the trunk. At one point, they shot a scene where it was going to be full of dead cheerleaders, so they were just killing people from the community. But here's a fun callback. They did shoot with both garbage men in the trunk as dead bodies, so they got to come back later in the movie.
That would have been fun.
That would have been all right.
That would have been a little more comical because it would have had a big whoa
Yeah, it's
reveal.
those guys.
Yeah, remember from a few scenes ago?
And he does have that funny callback. He's like, I hate cul-de-sacs. There's only one way out.
I don't believe they've shot all of those.
Okay.
But they do have I'm not actually sure on this. I know that you can watch some of the alternative endings. So
I didn't find them, but I was looking for them.
yeah,
Just like a bunch of skeletons is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I like that better.
Just some numbers. The picture opened number 1 in the box office. It grossed 11 million opening weekend.
Really?
Made 36 to 37 million worldwide and around 49 million, I think, to date currently.
It's surprising.
That is surprising.
Especially because it was panned initially, and I know Joe Dante said like they got such bad reviews that he was just ready for this to fizzle away as just like another whatever 90s movie. But it did good in the box office and gained a cult
I
following.
absolutely guaranteed that the marketing and previews for it painted
it.
a way different picture than what they actually saw.
Right.
So people were like, what the fuck was that? I thought I was going to see like a fun Tom Hanks.
This kind of goes along with that. I guess it was originally slated for Christmas of '88, but then
Hate that.
due to reshoots, it had to be pushed back till February '89.
Hate both of those time periods.
By that time, Tom Hanks would be nominated for an Oscar for Big.
So you'd have to imagine that probably helped the box office jump at that point because, like, oh, it's Tom. Like they already knew who Tom Hanks was, but
And
I
they
mean,
knew who
he's-
Carrie Fisher was.
Yeah, so they're riding a wave of that, so that probably helped.
No, I definitely get like why it would have like big box office draw. It's just I think
For
people
what it is now,
Yeah,
it's like,
Yeah, I just don't think that
the
people knew
marketing,
what they were
yeah.
getting into.
right.
Tom Hanks didn't want to do this originally. He was 31 at the time, and kind of for obvious reasons, he didn't think he was old enough to play a father. So he actually tried to write the entire
He was
son.
a real life father at the time.
Yeah, he probably was. He tried to write out actually the son, but they were pushing him like it's going to help in the end. It's going to be more believable that you're just a more modern couple with Carrie. You're a young couple with Carrie Fisher.
So this movie shot during a writer strike, a Hollywood writer strike. So if you think the movie plays loose and fun, it's because they didn't have people on set rewriting scenes for them. So they let the actors improv quite a bit. And I think that plays to the benefit of the movie.
I agree.
Yeah, 100% agree. Everyone's dialogue just seems
I
fitted
was
for them.
very curious about that. There's a lot of scenes where it's like that's just playful banter. Like
Yeah, like famous like improv scenes. Tom Hanks putting the gurney in the ambulance at the end. Also, Bruce Dern pulling the wallpaper off in the Klopeks house. But just a lot of the little things of their dialogue, they were having to switch things a lot on the spot, and without the writer there to help with it, they just got to do whatever.
If I were to peg which character I feel like improvs the most, even though he's was a more established actor, older actor, Bruce Dern. Bruce Dern seems like he's free balling it.
Yeah, it does seem like he's bringing a lot of himself to the role, and I love it.
the animal crackers at the end when he's just so content up on the roof there.
I've got a random one, right? So you know how Corey Feldman was famously a childhood friend of Michael Jackson?
Right.
And you know how Michael Jackson famously had a chimpanzee pet slave?
Bubbles.
Bubbles.
Bubbles
I'll just
the
say
chimp.
pet Bubbles.
Friend.
Friend, something, whatever. He had Bubbles the chimp. So Michael Jackson never visited the set, but Corey Feldman brought Bubbles like a bunch of times where they're like, you can't bring a chimpanzee to set and just leave him in your trailer.
Apparently,
Sorry,
he would
Bubbles.
leave Bubbles just in the trailer all day while he was shooting, and Bubbles would destroy it and just shit in there and make it.
Of course he would.
Yeah, it's
mess.
a chimpanzee. I'm sure there's
Fucking
lots
Bubbles.
of written material, but somebody's got to make a documentary about that whole Bubble situation, right? There's no way
That's
that chimpanzee.
at least a 5-part series.
Yeah, there's no way that has a good life, right?
Just kind of interestingly off the Corey Feldman vibe, this is super unverified, but it's just kind of rumored that on set, Corey Feldman was kind of, as you're saying, nearing the end of his like childhood acting phase. He was getting disillusioned with wanting to act and obviously kind of getting into drugs and just like more rambunctious habits. But it's said that Carrie Fisher and Bruce Dern were kind of mentors on set and trying to help him just get his real life in order while filming. So that's nice.
And
Wholesome.
Carrie Fisher had a lot of
Similar.
substance
Well,
abuse
anytime
problems.
you have, I think, a parent in Hollywood, and I mean,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. This movie was shot on Universal Backlot.
Oh yeah, this is fun.
So there
This is a fun tidbit.
had to be a lot of voiceovers due to just backlot tours happening at the time. But just like since it is the backlot, just like a little fun houses for you. Corey Feldman's house is the Munsters house. Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher's the Leave It to Beaver house, and pretty much every other house on the block is a Desperate Housewives house.
Shout out to the Klopeks house. I believe you see it in one of the seasons of Quantum Leap. My guess is it's that one where they drowned in the lake, but I'm not. That's really unverified. Check out Quantum Leap. Oh, it could be that Halloween episode with like Stephen King and the devil. Check it out. Those are my guesses. Let me know. Actually, if you know, we've said this before on the podcast. Let us know. But normally I'm like, don't fucking let me know. I don't care. But let me know this one. If anybody knows it, seriously, let us know. That'd be awesome to find out which episode.
Also,
it is.
Brother Theodore still really.
Yeah, we're all
if anyone
ears.
knows.
What I like about the cul-de-sac is it feels like a backlot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I enjoy that about this movie. I enjoy that about a lot of movies. When it definitely feels fake and made for movie world. I love that.
Love it.
One kind of just small thing off the gremlin thing. There is a little Easter egg at the beginning when Tom Hanks' son is eating cereal in the morning. It's gremlin cereal with a gremlin on it. They just made a fun little logo for this because it was off that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
When Art falls off the telephone pole and onto the shed, the sound that plays is a bowling ball knocking a strike.
And I didn't really pay attention
That's
to
such a stupid fact. Like, why?
Does anybody notice that?
I didn't at the time. No, I did read that and I was like, I guess it might have been, So the Universal logo is actually in this movie twice. It's at the end of the movie, and the reason being it was a custom painting of the original logo, and that's because it was a whole animation actually of it zooming in. But the fun fact off that is everyone says the actual final zoom in is definitely in Iowa, and it would seem to be a suburb of Des Moines. But clearly in the movie, there were Illinois license plate. It's believed to be a suburb of Chicago instead.
So the opening credits, you're saying, as they zoom in to the Universal sign.
Yeah, technically, geographically speaking, that should be somewhere in Iowa. And people would say probably Des Moines if it's a suburb. But
at the end, you see like
Illinois.
Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
Like, it's in California.
No, like, even though they zoomed in, yes, in the opening credits to the Midwest, it's definitely in the hills of Cal.
Yes.
It's in Burbank, California. They might actually have Universal Studios like rides in the background.
There was stuff in the background. There are some shots. Apparently, the set is really close to where the Jaws ride used to be, and apparently there was a PA like with a help that is heard faintly in the background of some shots that Joe Dante left.
You're saying just from the ride itself?
Yeah, but like because
background?
that was going on constantly during the day. A lot of the shooting was at night, but for some of the day shots, there's a faint like help that if they didn't do the voiceover and the dubbing, it is in the background.
Oh, there was a fun one with Corey Feldman's casting. He kind of came in looking like kind of sloppy and like a punk rocker or whatever, and then the long and short of it is they're like, "Oh, that's perfect."
I forget the movie, but he was coming straight from finishing one
Dream
film.
a Little Dream.
Dream a Little Dream.
He apologized for his to Dante for his appearance, and Dante immediately told him, "That's it. That's what we had in mind." So
we don't even have to go to wardrobe. Just wear that Batman shirt under that mesh red shirt. All right, let's move on to questions,
comments.
Animosities.
I can honestly say I have no animosity with this film.
I have one off the top. It's Tom Hanks at the beginning.
I wrote one down, but it's like not really.
Walking around barefoot outside, walking his dog. Granted, I was a barefoot kid growing up, but like, put some shoes on, man.
I'm fine with that.
It almost seems like a dream sequence because of that.
If I'm in a cul-de-sac suburbia land and I have like
just going to
pajama
the grass.
Pants and a robe, I'm barefoot all the time.
Get in the mail, yeah, but walking.
But at the same time, maybe if you're gonna
know.
have all that attire, you're gonna have slippers and maybe like a nightcap.
Exactly. Well, I guess he has it like in a cul-de-sac, and he probably just has to like go around. Still,
I don't think he's like taking his dog for a walk. I think he's taking his dog out to go to the bathroom on his lawn.
True.
It's not like walking.
As someone who's taped up windows before, if you're trying to keep a low profile and there happens to be a lightning storm in your basement that's drawing attention from your neighbors, Klopeks just like tape up the basement windows. That's like half the battle right there.
Yeah, did they not know that was creating an absurd amount of light, sound, and like?
Yeah, if you're murdering people, why does that like furnace have such a loud engine taking off like sound? Like it seems like
what are those lights?
It's all electricity, and I would imagine gas, right? That's just like a gas powered furnace. So why does it need that much power?
Here's some question about the Klopeks.
Well, look at Rube.
The question about the Klopeks, I think that most of the time, it seems like murderers like this want to get caught in some way, right?
Right. Or
They're
recognition of some sort.
Yeah, more like recognition. They're bragging. It's like, I'm so smart. So they do things sloppily to get caught. I always feel like.
Like, let's say drive around with a bunch of skeletons in your trunk.
You've been watching a lot of
skeletons.
Netflix documentaries, it feels like.
Yeah, Megan makes me.
Haven't we all?
I like that this movie plays on it could be any small town USA, suburb. Everybody can relate, or lots of people can relate to the weird neighbor.
Right.
You're like, oh, what you doing? Hiding bodies down there?
Exactly.
Check out Trick or Treat. And then it just turns out it plays on the real fears that, yes, they are there murdering people. Your weird neighbors are everything you feared they are.
Well put.
That's all I have.
No, that was well put. I like that.
Paranoia. We're just coming off of doing A League of Their Own, so I've got Tom Hanks' mind in my head quite a bit. Mm-hmm. He's in this weird spot. We just said he got nominated for Big, so I think he's already a household name at this point, but it's before all of his dramatic work, like
really broke.
Forrest Gump, where he just went to like another stratosphere, right? Mm-hmm. But I love this Tom Hanks. And I love it specifically for this. He plays agitated just so well.
Yeah, he does.
It may be my favorite. Mark's doing it right now. He's just shaking his head.
There's a lot of arms shaking.
It's not rage. It's agitation.
The scene where he's crushing the beer cans is that in a nutshell.
It's the wheelhouse that I like to see my Tom Hanks in. I love the romantic comedies as well, but the agitation.
Where the coffee spills on his car. Oh God,
dude!
Jesus.
I love the beginning when that paper boy just hits him in the stomach and he throws the coffee at him. God,
I even forgot about that. That's actually a really funny beginning just to the movie.
Well, just in general, favorite aspect, all the main three characters just aren't always eating and like just whispering all this stuff in Ray's ear, getting him going. Bruce Dern's over the top militaristic stuff is hilarious. Like all the characters are just really great.
Ultimately, you guys can agree or disagree with me. Bruce Dern's character is my favorite.
When I was younger, it used to be Art, and it's still pretty. It's up there.
They work together. It's like you need them all to be there.
Art's in your face funny, and then Rumsfield he just packs one-liners.
Ooh, one trickle down on Verified. Apparently, Tom Hanks and Rick Ducommun did not really get along on set, but Joe Dante says Tom Hanks was a professional and did not let that get in the way of their performance and working together.
I don't like hearing that. I like that. I wish they would have had better chemistry.
I know.
I mean, because they did. It seemed like
we couldn't tell. But
they had on-screen chemistry.
At the same time, though, he's supposed to be kind of an annoying character, so maybe that helped play into it. I don't know.
I've always heard that the key to casting is casting the right, or the key to making a movie is casting. So,
and I noticed this time when Rick Ducommun at the beginning goes into Ray's house and is getting all the food out. He takes the ribs, but he grabs a whole pineapple.
Oh yeah,
I never noticed that.
Yes.
Does he plan on just cutting that?
He just brought everything to the table too.
This movie is great in so many aspects, and one of them is the rewatch. You see stuff you didn't notice before. I think that's great in most comedic movies. That whole scene where he's just eating from the fridge, the leftovers, pretty sure he eats cat food or dog food in the middle of that too. And it like makes this really gross face because like they're about to feed that famous dog. I don't remember its name. Darcy the dog.
Little Darcy.
This movie's not one. I don't like put this out there and test people like, have you seen the Burbs? Because then I'll like you. But when I meet somebody who has seen them, I'm like, yeah, it's a good movie, right? And they're like, yeah, it fucking rocks.
So just animosity. When they break into Walter's house, a soldier's way saves the day. Bruce Dern like takes over that overturned chair, which would have been part of a crime scene. Like everyone's just touching everything.
Look, a sign of struggle.
Yeah, let me move let me put that right.
I think you're missing the biggest point that he carved out his window with a glass cutter.
Soldier's way.
And then here's the deal. I assume that glass cutter, I've actually wondered about this. Was that just to get his hand in to open a window or a door? Or did he sneak through about a 12 by 12 inch pane of glass?
I'd like to imagine he cut far too big a hole just to reach his arm in when he could have done the Tom Hanks, grab a plant and just smash the window open. Question. What cable package does Tom Hanks have to have nothing but horror movies playing at that time of night?
Shudder.
Well, that's true.
No free ads.
He had an early version of Shudder. That goes to the dream sequence, like right when he's falling asleep. In 1989, cable was available, but to get the 3 flips, I know it's for TV and it's telling the story, and I like when they do that in a movie, especially Shaun of the Dead when
it's kind of the joke. Yeah,
it's kind of the joke, but yeah, he would never get to those 3 things, especially at that time.
So I did recognize at least Texas Chainsaw, but I guess the other 2 are Race with the Devil, The Exorcist, and then Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
I've only seen the Texas Chainsaw and
Exorcist. Yeah, I didn't know the other one. Yeah,
but that's the one that really sets the tone.
Yeah, it really
that's
does.
what the dream is all about, I assume.
The dream sequence always used to scare me kind of as a kid, but I do like the part where Rick Ducommun's like, "Hey, it's me, Rick. It's not really. It's not really Skip." I like that they're kind of playing into the dream sequence. I don't know.
I like the whole dream sequence.
Satan is your pal.
I do like that. That's the echoes. They're coming like, "Satan is your pal. Satan is your friend."
It's a real callback, jokey joke scene. I won't quote the lines so well, but I actually quote this movie
A lot.
often.
Yeah, we do.
Just off the cuff, this has got some of my favorite quotes in movies. Mark, I mean, lay it on me. What do you got?
There's a lot of GDs in this film, but I love the there go the goddamn brownies.
When Bruce Dern falls through the porch, his delivery is so hilarious. Really, I would honestly say maybe my favorite part of the whole movie is the visit to the Klopeks. That's really when Bruce Dern gets unleashed. I mean, really, it's
Well, that's when we've moved from like conspiracy to action.
Yeah.
We're doing stuff.
I can
now.
just
We're going
think
into
about the brownie
Klopeks.
scene and just like get myself like going.
about a 10 there on the old tension scale, eh, Rube?
He said he calls Rube like for the rest of the movie, and then
So he does it so condescending.
what I say here at the end. He's like, oh yeah, we caught you, Rube. Like he thinks he's the mastermind behind it all. Just
Hey, Pinocchio.
who got tied up in the basement there, old Rube.
I quote this a lot. There's never a good moment, but like, you keep a horse in the basement when the dog comes out. That always made me laugh a lot as a kid. Still does.
If I see like a Great Dane walking around, like I'll snap you guys a picture and like that'll be the caption. But
I don't know why, but I use this one like all the time. When they're in when Tom Hanks and Art are in the backyard, and he's like, "It's just a piece of trash." It's something. He's like, no, it's your note.
Jordan uses that anytime it's clearly what the answer ended up being. He's like, oh, well, no, it's my note. It works.
That one's my most versatile quote from a random movie.
just a piece of trash.
No, it's my
Just
note.
question. So what exactly is the noise that Tom Hanks is making in that scene after the sardines? Well, I guess not what. Is that like him throwing up? Is that really allergies?
I've always actually been confused from that because it's an unhumanly nose, and it's coming from his chest, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
it sounds really deep.
It's like a purr.
I will say
can't even
this.
I can't
Has
do it.
anybody here eaten a sardine on a cracker?
Well, there's been more sardine talk in my
I
life
know,
the past
recently.
week.
Go on.
I
brought
don't
it up.
know. Cameron's just been talking sardines all week. I don't
Like
know.
pro, negative?
Because of this wanting to just
Omega-3s.
see what it's about.
Fatty oils.
Nice fatty oils. Yeah, sure.
Mercury.
The sardine to pretzel ratio on that snack, it's off.
It's off. Big
It's
sardine.
off. It's-
I don't know if it's 2 or 3.
I'd almost feel like you should put the pretzel on top of the sardine at that point.
make a sandwich out of it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I have no idea what that sound is. I never have, but it almost sounds like they're about to cook another body down there. It's coming from an
Within.
non-human place.
Where are Ricky's parents? He might be the murderer. We never see them.
I like two things. I like you never see Ricky's parents, and I like you never see Art's wife until the end. He's
My
like,
wife is home.
Yeah, that's great.
I don't know what Ricky's parents are, but obviously they're bad parents.
How old is Ricky supposed to be? We're assuming college, I'd assume, because he's drinking with Rick Ducommun, like at the beginning when they're going on that walk talking about Skip, the ice cream guy.
Yeah, I think he's out of high school.
I could see him being anywhere from 17 to 26.
It is
Agreed.
summer, so he could just be also
window.
Yeah, I mean, like suburb people, in my opinion, or I feel like some of them live at home forever. He could honestly be 17 to 30.
Rumsfield, dude!
Rumsfield!
Oh, dude, that's
Pitch
when,
your goddamn house.
when Bruce Dern falls off the house there and his legs just flailing. Oh.
Gunshots goes off. It's all good.
So when the Klopeks actually leave, they take the dog with them, but I don't think the dog comes back with them. Do they board it? I guess, or why would they?
Darcy?
No, they're the
dog.
horse in the basement. When the Klopeks leave
no,
the
no,
next
no,
day
no,
to go to the university, they leave with the dog in the car. But I don't think it comes back.
I think I see. I think it's in the back.
It might just be like
is
walking
it?
around. I can't quite remember.
I'm pretty sure it's in the back.
Okay, well then this has turned into an animosity of why would they take that to the university for the next job offer, board it for the day or something?
I just don't see them as dog people, period.
Well,
Any of them.
Well, I'm guessing it's supposed to be like some sort of hound of hell and some guard dog, right? Something like that, we're thinking.
Sure.
I like how much Rick Ducommun's like, I knew there were ghouls like gravediggers, and he goes to like a supernatural thing always. It's always like satanic and like a ghoul.
Ray, you're chanting. Unconscious chanting.
I will jump ahead, but I want to talk about Art Rick Ducommun, his character. I love his outfit when he's breaking in. It's like a bowling like hybrid outfit.
I
It's
thought it was
black
like
and gold.
isn't it like an
He's dressed
electric?
like he's-
No. I'm saying like when
when they're at the Klopeks house and he's breaking in the backyard.
when they're
Gotcha.
having their meet and greet with the Klopeks, but he tries to break in and he sets off the alarm. So what the fuck is he wearing?
Oh, like it says his name on it.
I love
His
that.
outfit in general, he's wearing like tube socks and like checkered Vans.
Killing that outfit. I know it's supposed to be like, hey, look at
Little
this nerdy
Zoomers
guy.
wear that nowadays on TikTok, shaking their ass.
Which also brings me up to my first should have died. Did they throw a pickaxe over the over the fence? Corey Feldman and the other son, and it hits him in the head. That probably would have killed him. Moving on.
Yeah, Art should have died 3 times.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Obviously, the biggest one is being electrocuted.
And then falling. My feelings are hot.
Oh, that actually made me uncomfortable. That scene. Just I don't know. That seems like a weird feeling.
I do like though. Around that time, he's digging through shit. Art is, and he finds a comb, and he's like, "My comb." Like, he picks it back up.
I only have one animosity, and it's not even really with the movie. It's with the little snippet of Mr. Rogers that plays, and the song is "There's a beautiful day in this neighborhood." And it's not the neighborhood, and that always pisses me off.
Is it really this
And that's
neighborhood?
yes, and that's a recent finding by me, and it's just rubbed me wrong.
I'll chalk that one up as a Mandela effect for
And then
everybody
fun
out there.
trickle down. Of course, Tom Hanks later went on to play Mr. Rogers in 2019.
I never saw that movie.
Actually,
Wouldn't
neither did
she
I.
be mine?
I have a real animosity with Bruce Dern, and that is his whole thing is being the guard up on the roof. There is a scene where the Klopeks drive up.
We got a big problem.
Well, no, it's before that. They drive up and then they back away because they come
Oh
back.
yeah, he should have been watching.
Yeah, they
him,
come back with a cop. That was his one job, but he was
He
definitely
just
up
fell
there.
off a roof, though.
That was during daylight. By
No,
the-
no,
when the-
he,
when the
he
Klop-
completely misses the Klopeks coming in.
Yeah.
And I assume they're loud as fuck car, full of exhaust. You would hear that coming.
and driving over the trash pile in the middle of the road. So granted, he fell off the roof, but that was during daylight, so that must have been a few hours until they came
Concussions,
back.
man. I
he
don't
could
know.
have been dealing with Ricky at the time and all the ruckus
That's
happening
true.
over there. I don't know.
Ricky was a pest.
But he did drop the ball. Oh, I had a question I thought about this. I know that I know that Rumsfield talks about his service a lot.
Right.
But I just would love if he was in the reserves and like never saw Vietnam or wherever he said he did.
I find that typically the people that do talk about it a lot are those people, but
That's true.
cool.
I love that aspect, that character trait. Just let him be weird military guy, I guess.
Cool for Ricky, though, that he can really just throw an all-day rager because his neighbors are busy breaking and entering. They're not going to call the cops on anything.
Yeah, 2 weeks earlier, that would have been a problem.
Oh, 100%. But this is the week to do it.
Is there
Hey,
any-
Ricky, cool part. Hey, Ricky, you really know...
Hey, Ricky really knows how to throw a party.
There we go.
I just wait, guys. The pizza dude's coming.
I would never make it to the point where the house explodes. Well, actually, maybe because it is a cool rager all day, but he's making a lot of promises of action. I guess...
Just when the pizza van hits the tree, he's like, pizza, just pizza, dude.
So I don't know if Ricky ordered all those pizza, but that must have been like 50
shit ton.
pizzas.
That van is full of pizza.
That would have been near $1,000 worth of pizzas, and I'm talking 1989 money. $20 a pizza times 500 pizzas. What do you tell me?
Ricky was a stud. Then I'm going to Ricky's. I'm going to watch
To
his
quote the
neighbors.
guy, Ricky really knows how to throw a party.
Also, questions. So the Klopeks, why would they come back with the cop? At that point, they clearly have skeletons in the car. Or why
Bad
are they?
move, yep.
Why are they driving around with skeletons anyway? Because it just seems
Question
like
this.
you're going to get pulled over for a light infraction or something. Seems like such an easy way to get caught.
Do all the Klopeks know what's going on, or
Yeah.
is it just El Doctor?
I'll tell you what.
they're all in on it.
Yeah, the Klopeks don't have Geico. They do not have insurance.
On that car, or just anything?
Probably not anything. Yeah.
Well, actually, this brings me up to a couple questions. Number one. Why are they digging at night? Because it seems like the bodies are burned and they're in the
rain,
basement
that's
and they're
tough.
left in the. Were they
It's,
originally in the
summertime? The
Well,
heat of day would be too much.
Well, were they originally in the backyard, but people were getting suspicious, so they moved them? Is it like that?
I always saw that scene. I always thought they were digging up bodies and taking them out of their backyard.
Okay. So
Okay, yeah.
I was
And
always
then
kind of
they put
confused
them
about that.
into the
Car for something.
car,
Eventually,
so
they were going to
weren't in
move
their
them.
backyard or whatever.
Okay. They should-
Actually, I don't know if I've always thought that, but that's like the realization. I've
Why
come to
didn't they
later.
move them that? Like, just dump them anywhere before you go get the cop. Maybe just dump those bones in a ditch. Come
How
back
many?
for 'em.
But like the amount of bones in their trunk would have been like
Hundreds.
like hundreds of dead people.
Well, he was like, "You have my skull." It seems like he collects things. So I guess he's a collecting type.
Yeah.
Also, just there's an incriminating amount of evidence. After your house blows up, why would they stick around to try to kill Tom Hanks? Why wouldn't you just try to slip away before all the whatever
I
evidence?
think he's gone mad.
Yeah, I guess, but like,
How involved is Rube?
Very. I mean, clearly.
I think he's more of just an errand driver guy.
Well, here's the thing. Pinocchio's the one driving the ambulance at the end as the getaway. They leave Rube behind, if you think about it. He's not in the van. So maybe they were just going to ditch all those bodies on Rube and try to get out.
The brother.
Hey, Pinocchio, where are you going?
Hey, Pinocchio! Where are you going? I love that.
That's another favorite quote, of course, by Bruce Dern. The "Hey, Pinocchio, where are you going?"
I don't know. I just assume they're all in on it. They're all bad. I didn't think about it too much on that one.
And this time watching around, I do have one other big question. The Knapps lived in the house before, and they make it seem like they just killed them and then immediately moved in. How? Just legally, like, no one was questioning what happened to the Knapps? It seems like the Knapps just disappeared.
What you're missing is it seems like people didn't like the Knapps in general.
That's true, but
they're the person that let their house go to disarray, and they're like, fuck it.
Well, I guess it also seems like they didn't want to sell, so maybe they just killed him and then still bought the house through legal means.
No,
because
maybe.
Well, the police knows, like the policeman knows he's like, oh, he's a respected doctor, so like it seems like they are a little legit, have some paperwork. So I'm just very confused about how the Knapps died and how they just inherited the house.
They were moving all day.
Was that a lie? Was it just him throwing
like
them
a
off?
lie. It seems like the neighbors.
The moving truck was in the driveway all day.
Right. Calm down there, Rube.
I don't know. It seems like he confessed to killing them.
They were old and he didn't want to sell their house. And you know how old people get attached to their things.
Well, the big question is then, did the doctor and the Klopeks install whatever furnace situation is there?
They're talking about it like it's all custom built and they see the pipes going up. So they had to drag that giant thing somehow into the basement.
Well, that's the big thing.
I'm guessing that just moves with them everywhere they murder. Yeah.
I've again started to reread The Devil in the White City for like the 10th time. I'll never finish it. But it seems like to get a murder house situation, you got to do a lot of internal, like hiring, not hiring, construction type situation. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's what Rube does. Or, Hans. We obviously have a doctor that does, the surgical killing, but the handyman.
Seems like for such a big furnace, you'd want that to probably, like, I don't know, dust up the bone a bit.
Yeah, just get that down a little. And I guess
why is there so much bone left?
All of it.
Like the entire skeleton.
Yeah. He kept it all.
And I already asked this, but again, why does it need so much electricity? Seems like that's all just gas would probably be. I don't understand why there's a bunch of car batteries.
You're just lucky that thing didn't blow up before, or unlucky. Who knows?
True.
There's so many aspects about this movie I like. It's mainly just like so many good movies. The performances, everybody's performance, they bring it. It's good. It's great. Carrie Fisher, I don't feel like. I wish she got to flex her muscles a little more. She's essentially just playing.
Really,
like
she's
the
playing
wife.
Their mom instead of
That's
the wife,
true.
though, which is kind of funny. Just like the can Ray come out to play kind of moment, things like that.
I know, but don't you think it could have been better if she got a little more jokes here and there?
I mean, she kind of does. She gets some zips and some cheeky little comments here and there.
That's true.
Something I never really thought about, but Ray's going to have significant house damage. That house blew up huge, and he's the next door neighbor, so...
Ray, and your house is on fire.
Yeah, really, it's going to be Ray, your house is on fire, not...
I meant, sorry, Art, your house is on fire.
Also, on kind of my favorite aspect, Tom Hanks just sliding down those steps.
Guys, this is truly the best moment of the movie. You know what I'm talking about. We've all seen it.
It's terrifying when it happens to you in the wild because you're never planning it, but...
I don't know if it could happen again or if he'd done that for 3 takes, but it's right after he comes out of the house that just exploded. He shuffles down straight-legged a small flight of 4 stairs, and it's amazing. Rewatch for it. If you've seen the movie, you already know what we're talking about, but if you're going to watch it for the first time after this podcast...
It's the best part of the end, for sure.
It just kills. Get a nice little Ron Howard's dad as the detective.
Mm-hmm. He's come up, actually. Ron Howard's dad's come up in maybe the last 3 podcasts.
He was in the last movie. He was the dad of Kit.
So I was kind of thinking about this, too. In today's justice system, they did help catch a murderer, but they still have a lot of charges that will probably not get dropped. And the Klopeks actually still might have a lawsuit that they win.
I mean, they broke into their house and exploded it.
Yeah, it endangered everyone on the block.
Given all that, and I totally agree with you, Rumsfield is still just at the end, oh, you got a lawsuit on your hands,
He immediately throws Ray under the bus.
You got a lot of explaining to do, buddy. They do stay true to their competitive neighborhood feature at the end, and especially when the news cameras get there, Art's character is the exact type of person that talks to a news camera. Get a load of this.
We're not going to take it anymore. Geraldo Rivera's going to come down and go down in the basement live.
Yeah, totally. That is the Art type of guy.
I do enjoy how the gang, Art, Ray, and Rumsfield, they go so far to the point where they break into the house, they dig it up, but then Art's like, man, I think we're doing this too long. Let's just get out of here and quit. Like, he wants to quit after all that time.
Well, it even starts with them just immediately digging in the backyard, and he's just laying down, and Ray's doing everything.
He doesn't do anything, though.
Yeah, by that time, Ray is just already all into it.
You know, in Art's
Going
defense, though,
crazy.
he did get electrocuted. He did do, like, a major part of turning off the power.
Ray turns mad at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, truly mad.
From the moment he finds the toupee, you've had that in your trousers all day?
It clicked.
Yeah, it's the moment he goes over.
Shout out, though, to just when he reveals to the gang that he's got the toupee. Sick den.
Yeah.
Like the little
Nice
den.
den.
Cool den.
I'm a little surprised we didn't spend more time in the den.
Well, we had no time.
That's true. I mean, we were on a staycation. I really like I don't know, there's just so many scenes I like. I like when he shows Art his tools. It's like,
I got these. Carol's dad got this for me last
Comes up
Christmas.
more than once. Comes up in the ambulance too. Like I can help you.
I can help you
rebuild
fix your
the
house.
Carol's
got some
dad.
tools.
call back to the tools. Yeah.
Should we move on to recasting?
Recasting.
Cass.
Move on to recasting. Recasting. Let's start kind of low. These are just kind of some fun character actors in there.
Did you guys go pretty low? I mean, I kind of did everybody.
I did everybody, but then also I did the garbage men. Did you guys have that?
Oh, I did. That's what I mean. I did the garbage man.
Yeah, we all have the same garbage man.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so prefacing, I think one of our garbage men is going to be the same, all of us, and I think our rookies are all going to be the same. So this could be fun, but
Our Ricky, I think you might be surprised. I have a twofer on that one.
okay, then you went weird.
So you can give me the garbage man's names who I don't know, or can I just do my...
Just 1 and 2.
Yeah, mine's David Cross, Joe Pesci.
Mine's David Cross, Joe Pesci. Didn't think we were going 2 for 2 on that.
Nice.
I knew we were doing David Cross. Did you have David Cross?
I had David Cross.
Okay,
David Cross would kill it. In fact, it seems like a role he would have played, but this is a little early for him. Rather than Joe Pesci, I did Harvey Keitel, from Quentin Tarantino's universe.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I get that.
Just like a, mobster
yep.
type
You
of
would
guy
know
that
him-
ended up being a...
You would know him more recently from the National Treasure series.
Sure, recently, like 15 years ago.
Whatever.
Was he like the FBI guy?
Yeah, he's the FBI guy from that.
Got
Check
it,
out
got it,
our
got it.
episode on National Treasure.
Bonnie. Let's go to Bonnie.
I did Elizabeth Banks. She's funny. She could play like kind of funny ditzy, and she's also very beautiful.
Love that. Better than mine. I did Amy Adams.
Huh. I was actually thinking about her.
I did Selma Hayek.
Ooh, very attractive. I was thinking about Parker Posey because she can do the ditzy very well, but
She's more
she's kind
trashy
of supposed to be
and
more of a trophy wife.
Let's do the Klopeks now. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Klopeks.
These were really hard.
Cameron, do you want to start?
For my doctor, I did Christoph Waltz.
Me too. I did Christoph Waltz. Cameron,
We're
we're on the
just
same wavelength on this this recast.
Jordan, who'd you have?
I did Jared Harris, Richard Harris's son.
Okay.
You may know him from Mad Men, I think is his biggest
yeah.
role.
He had a stint there, yeah.
Mad Men.
For Ruben, I did Tommy.
Oh, sorry. I mean, Christoph Waltz is perfect. I feel embarrassed.
It's almost too obvious, right?
We've used him a lot. If there's,
A sophisticated, quirky villain.
yeah,
He's
he's
kind of got that
perfect for
same
it.
stature. Like he
And
could be like
He's
4'8".
Yeah, he's not big, and that helps.
and also just like a vague foreigner because he can do so many different accents and languages that he kind of just fits a lot of things for us.
That's actually really
Slavic.
good. I like that.
For Ruben, this was kind of interesting because he plays the straight man, like just straight faced a lot.
Jordan just had a huge sigh. He can't. He
I
couldn't think of a
couldn't.
fucking
Can I just
Ruben.
say mine just to get it out of the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
so we don't remember Danny DeVito. I just picked a guy.
Okay, so
just
hold
a stature.
on. But you're thinking of like that was mine too. You're all worried about yours. Mine, I did like Frank
perfect.
Reynolds, Danny DeVito.
Okay,
Great.
perfect.
I
Interesting.
felt stupid about it, but
No.
I'm glad that you're here.
Hear me out. Just a straight faced person who would just grunt. Tommy Lee Jones.
He's too big, though. I think
Danny
he has to
DeVito's
be small.
perfect.
I think he has to be small.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Kind of
for the movie,
troll-like.
but I think he could do it. He would pull it off.
There's almost moments where Frank Reynolds is Brother Theodore. It seems. I don't know.
The doctor.
Who'd you have as Hans? Hans Christian Andersen. Just to throw away, I did put Sean Whalen from That Thing You Do. How are we supposed to meet girls and dance? Just to kind of the era, just to get him in there. But my main one is Paul Dano. You would know him from Looper and some other things. He's
Paul
a good
Dano's
actor, but he
good.
also just
Swiss Army Man. There will be blood. Girl next door. Check out Paul Dano.
yep.
Love and Mercy. Man, I know every Paul
You
Dano
really
movie.
do.
This is the most prepared I've ever been. That might be all of his movies.
Who'd you guys have for Hans?
I had Sam Rockwell.
Oh, okay. That works great.
He
We all
plays
had similar guys.
he plays gross really well. I'm taking pretty much the Green Mile aesthetic, and then just let Sam Rockwell be weird, which
like
I
that.
enjoy. I enjoy him.
I went either of the McPoyle brothers.
Okay.
So I've
Always
yeah.
Sunny.
Nate Mooney, he's kind of the grosser McPoyle, but just that is a McPoyle, is Hans.
I would probably go with the one that's in Westworld, whichever one that is, just because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about this guy?
Oh yeah, sure.
And by this guy, I mean Jesse Plemons.
He's in Game Night, Breaking Bad.
Like Mike.
That works for me.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that works for me. He plays kind of that uncomfortable, awkward character well. I mean, he did. He
Imagine
does
him
it in
later
both those
hosting.
movies. Yeah,
Yeah,
that works for
he'd
me.
be good.
Who'd you guys have as Carol?
I'll go first. Mine's not crazy. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Ty.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Hear me out.
I was up between her and I won't say it in case I tiptoe on camera. So it was either her or
don't leak,
What do you think of this? She'd have to do an American accent, but Kate Winslet.
like fine.
I do like the Jamie Lee Curtis better.
I like Kate Winslet, so it could have been. I mean, she would have added to it. I also thought Sigourney Weaver.
Let's do Ricky, and then we'll get to the big three.
Ricky's just kind of a voice thing. T.J. Miller, you would know him from Silicon Valley. Also,
So, okay, we're not going to be close at all on Ricky. My bad.
I have
but
a
he does just play that partier burnout kind of character a lot.
His
So it
is
works.
hard because he looks so much older.
Yeah, that is the problem with it. But
But I like where
voice
you're coming
wise and
from.
attitude.
Voice wise for sure. Just again, a shout out to the Corey Feldman. This is essentially a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle real life character, a human character. I like that.
Yeah, totally.
Mine specifically, I went Shia LaBeouf,
Okay, I did think about that.
and I didn't think that at all until I saw the table reading where he played Spicoli as Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Remember when celebrities were doing weird shit with the pandemic just because they needed to do stuff? I guess. Check that out. That's
Hear me
mine.
out. Okay, this is a wild card.
Sean William Scott's my sub.
I didn't actually do this, but do you think after Shia LaBeouf
I
gets
thought
his
too hard about it.
Do you think after Shia LaBeouf gets his Robert Downey Jr. maybe in like 10, 15 years, like
Comeback?
Yeah, that he could do the Tom Hanks version of this if he didn't have all the tattoos, where he would just be the dad coming in? Because I did think that
I could see
did think like
Wait, that'd be
15,
awesome.
15 years, this would be a perfect later Shia LaBeouf role, but that's not what I did.
No, I like that. I
love
could
that.
definitely see that happening.
Okay.
And again, shout out. Well, that'll trickle
Actually, I
down.
think out of all of that you said, I think Shia LaBeouf with like a long kind of mullety '80s hair would and just being like that type of archetype would be awesome.
I'm telling you, check
I
out that
did-
table read.
He'd have to be younger, but Paul Rudd. And
Okay,
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
that's fun.
great.
That's
I
fun.
thought you guys were going to pick Paul Rudd for some reason.
No, I didn't think about it at all, but that's
I went
great.
that route.
Who do we have as Rumsfeld?
This one was hard for me just because
Yeah, because Bruce Dern's awesome in this.
I'm actually okay. So
This was the hardest one for me.
initially, I'm like, I just can't do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I did to give this one some time because I think this is my favorite character.
Let it marinate.
Hear me out. Kind of weird burnout army man. It's gonna take a little bit. It's gonna be a different direction
Mm-hmm.
than Bruce Dern. Gene Wilder.
Huh. Yeah, I could maybe see that. It's weird. He saw some stuff at war, though.
He
could
saw
be
a lot
quirky as
more.
fuck.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's playing it like he just got out of the tunnel in Willy Wonka, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just Gene Wilder.
Where we're going.
I did something that's also taking.
Just think of all the Rumsfield line from Gene Wilder.
Actually, I kind of like that a lot.
Where'd you get
Soldier's
that?
way
Bruce
saves the day.
I mean, that one's
that's Gene Wilder in a nutshell.
sorry.
Because he's a hard ass, but at the same time, he's kind of aloof in this. He just,
Because he got burnt out. He's seen things. He's not the same.
Yeah, that actually kind of works for me.
I love that.
You're not going to like mine. I'm taking it in a different route. It's pretty much Tropic Thunder. I'm just putting Danny McBride as the militaristic guy that has all the equipment there.
I mean, that'd be fun. Who doesn't like that?
He would be good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually He'd be way comedic for sure.
in fact, all of my main three characters, I just kind of did a modern comedic actor reimagining, but I'll
That's
get to
fine.
them.
I
Who'd
did
you have?
Bryan Cranston.
Oh, I like that.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I get
he's someone that could play a stiff and then still kind of
He's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is
Malcolm
funny.
in the Middle.
I try to think that kind of dad humor because that's kind of what Rumsfeld is a little bit.
Who'd you guys have as art?
Mine's chalk, just John Candy.
I did John Candy too.
I initially had John Candy, but hear me out. It's not a size thing anymore, but it's Vince Vaughn just gabbing his ear the whole time, talking really fast. And
Oh,
just-
you could toss Vince Vaughn in that
Vince
role and
Vaughn
change
would
it.
be a
It'd
perfect
great.
gabber.
Yeah.
I mean, the eating thing, he wouldn't have the eating gimmick maybe as much. Well, maybe he just still would, but
No, he would. He did it in like Wedding Crashers.
yeah, I guess it would.
Actually, I like that take a lot. I just went chalk. I'm like, they were doing a John Candy type of Vince Vaughn big money at that.
Thank you.
My B team was Billy Crystal.
That's funny.
You know, I could see him as one of the garbage men too.
I could really assume it was a garbage man.
We're down to
Ray.
Ray. Who'd you guys have? I don't think you guys are gonna like mine. Jason Bateman.
That's fine.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't like
plays
it.
it. No,
Honestly,
I don't hate
I like
that.
my Shia LaBeouf way better. If my future comeback Shia LaBeouf.
The
but-
You
reason-
showed your hand there.
The
Yeah,
reason you
but-
picked Jason Bateman is because Jason Bateman plays agitated.
Yeah, that
pretty
is why I
much
did it.
identically. Like not identically,
Yeah, I
but
don't hate that. I would have never thought of that, but I don't hate it.
and he's obviously funny. Like I think this is a role made for Jason Bateman. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Thank
So
you.
I obviously think it. Mine's recency bias, but I truly think I recast him as Tom Hanks in A League of Their Own last week, and I still feel it. I tried to go against it, but Michael Keaton would fucking kill this role.
Yeah.
And I truly believe it.
I'll back that.
Especially when he goes mad at the end, it'd be just as fun. He plays agitated quite well in a lot of
It's
his
not
movies.
them. It's us. Yeah, he would do it. Yeah.
Right. But I like the Jason Bateman.
Thank you.
This could be like completely blasphemous, but I think this could easily be like a National Lampoons and just put Chevy Chase there.
Oh,
call it
yeah,
Staycation,
100%.
and it's just a Chevy Chase
That'd be great.
vehicle.
No, that
That'd be
could 100%
absolutely
work.
great. All of them are good.
Have Beverly D'Angelo.
Yeah,
That's
this
hard to
could
say.
just be a vacation.
With how much I like this cast, surprisingly, I did find some good recasting out of at least one of us that I would be able to watch that movie.
We agreed on a lot, which
Yeah.
we never really do.
This one surprised me. Yeah, we all had good ones.
Especially for how
And,
much we love this movie.
Normally I do shitty ones, but I thought I really liked my Gene Wilder.
That did work
That
for
was
me.
a good one. Your Jason Bateman was a sneaky dark horse.
Vince Vaughn, I'm telling you. I think that
Vince
actually.
Vaughn was pretty stinky too.
Moving on to Mount Rushmore, top 4.
Mount Rushmore, top 4.
Mount Rushmore top 4. This week, we might have done it before. Who knows? We don't remember. We're doing our favorite Tom Hanks movies. Not what we're saying his best roles are, but our favorite movies of his. Starting with our number 4s around.
This was tough.
My list was constantly moving as I was doing research. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, as you found another one to
yeah.
add on, you're like pushing one out. You're like,
If we did this list 10 minutes from now, it'd be different.
yes.
But this is what I've got right now.
I tried to be honest with what I just actually like to watch the most, not necessarily what is the best. And I put The
I
Burbs
like-
as my number 4.
Really?
I watch this movie a lot. It's a family classic. It's on my list.
I mean, I can't argue with it. It's
That's
an
my.
honorable
It's got to be
mention.
a 6 for me.
It's an honorable mention for me, and it's not all these are wildly rewatchable.
Right.
It's just movies that I love him. These are the movies I love.
Okay, what's your number 4?
Apollo 13. I've always loved that movie. I think it's wildly underrated. The fact that it was made in like 93 or 94,
Yeah.
it just holds up. It's such a think about this. Think of how good one, he's amazing in it, but the movie in general is just good. We know what happens.
Yeah.
We know
But
they're
it's
going to
still,
get stuck,
yeah.
and it's just an amazing movie, and I think it's underrated. Is it long? Yeah, but who doesn't like a
Has to
long,
be.
good movie?
I knew he was in that movie. I just came across it too late when I found other. I'm like, fuck, I can't just push that one out.
That movie made me
So
want to be an
my number
astronaut
4
until I immediately found out they had to be good at math in that movie.
My number 4 is Big.
Can't argue it. It's great.
Yeah, it's
Honorable mention for me.
Especially
so
as a
close.
kid, I watched it so much growing up. It is an honorable mention, and
It's a great coming of age movie. I love Big.
We should do that because it's got a million questions.
yeah. Let's do that next.
Okay, we'll do big. We're just in Tom,
Tom
Hanks.
Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Summer
mode.
Tom Hanks. Speaking of which, That Thing You Do, we've also done that on the podcast, but it is a very watchable movie. I wouldn't
Are we
necessarily.
leaking pics, or is that your number 3?
That's my number 3. That's
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily say that is like a Tom Hanks movie, but he wrote it. He's in it.
Okay.
It's his
only.
movie.
That's
It's
a
the
good
only
sell.
movie he
It's his
directed.
movie.
It's a good
It's
sell.
the only movie he directed.
Andy's in it, so that's why.
It's not my favorite role of his. He kind of plays an asshole in the movie.
But
Yeah.
watchability, as far as that movie goes,
Oh.
that's why.
If
I watch it all
Good
the time.
sell.
The only reason it's not in my list
Mm-hmm.
is because it's such a small role.
I get it.
But his fingerprints are all over it. It's
Right.
Playtone Records. He makes like his movie production goes Playtones.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I feel bad I didn't put it on there. Check out our.
I get why you wouldn't, but that's why I did. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is again. This is borderline. Should I do it? Should I not? But I just love this movie.
I love it. He's zigging, we're
I've,
zagging.
I've overwatched it, so I can't watch it anymore. But Catch Me If You Can is a fucking great movie.
It's my number 3, so let's just talk about it together.
Without. I mean, it's obviously Leo's like vehicle, but without Tom Hanks, that movie doesn't work.
No, 100%.
You need Tom Hanks in
That's
that
honestly
movie.
maybe my favorite movie of both of them to watch just because it is so watchable. And some of the other ones, like The Aviator with Leo's very dry.
I almost feel like Catch Me If You Can is underrated for both of their
I agree.
Their repertoire. It's such
Although
a
that
good
one
movie.
does always seem to live still on syndication. So if people do, it's always like a TNT
yeah.
or
Catch Me If
CBS.
You Can is fucking awesome.
Steven Spielberg directed. It's just a powerhouse fucking movie.
To mice. I'm not going to do a walking right now, but
What do we on now? What's your
Where you
number
go- I mean,
3?
and
my
obviously,
3
Chris
was
Walken.
Catch Me If You Can.
Okay.
Just love that movie. It's such a
Moving on to number 2, mine's actually Apollo 13, so we don't have to touch on it, but mine's just a little higher. It is such a
Okay, you like that a little
it's
more?
such a watchable movie. It's so good.
so good.
What's your number 2?
You've Got Mail, unapologetically.
I get it. You've
love
actually been
that
talking
movie.
about that since high school as well. Favorite
It's
Tom
my
Hanks.
favorite
Got
romantic.
Mail at
it's,
number 2.
It's such
That's
a
like
good
putting
romantic comedy.
Money Pit at number 2.
No, that'd be like putting Money Pit at number 2. It's just the perfect romantic comedy. It's easy digestible.
Hey, hold
it goes
on. I
through
love the
all
Money
the seasons. It goes summer, spring. I love it. I don't apologize. I love You Got Mail.
Don't
can't
apologize. I
argue.
love that about you. You Got Mail at 2. Wow.
I guess we disagree. I take it you haven't seen it?
No, I have. My mom loves You've Got Mail.
Yeah, she gets it.
My number 2 is The Green Mile.
Ooh, see, I
only watched that movie for the first time like 2 years ago.
It started on my
It's
list, but it
so
got bumped.
fucking good.
Started on my list, but I got bumped down because it's such a great performance, but it's not necessarily something I always want to
Hard
watch
to
all
watch.
the time. Yeah, it's
So
heavy. It's a
there's-
heavy movie.
Somebody's going to pick a number 1 that's even heavier. So
Yeah, everybody's going to pick a number 1 that's heavier. I could watch Green Mile right now if you put it in. I love that movie, and I didn't.
3
put
hours
it on.
long, but I just want to sit down and watch the whole thing.
You know what? In
Might not be that
3 hour
long.
long movies, cut out the old people part. Just tell us the story. The story
with that.
holds up, I think. Sure, it's got whatever, but do we need to see
Talking
more?
about The Notebook? What are you talking about here?
I'm talking about
Both.
any movie where Citizen Kane is maybe the only exception.
Go back to our Mount Rushmore from last
Go back
week
to
where
last
we do
week's
this.
episode, yeah.
My number 1, we've already talked about it, but Catch Me If You Can. It is so watchable. It's so nice. It's funny.
I am shocked at your list.
Oh God, I love Catch Me
I'm
If
not
You Can.
shocked. No, I do too. I'm just shocked.
It's a great dramatic performance without being too heavy. There are emotional parts, but mostly it's just kind of fun. It's a fun movie.
And it's a rare, especially at that time period, supporting role for Tom Hanks. One, he barely has any, except maybe in his early days, but most of the time he's the lead. He's definitely the supporting,
Yeah, Leo's the
second
star.
fiddle. It's good, though.
What's your number 1?
I mean, it's Saving Private Ryan.
I Saving Private Ryan started as my number 1 and slowly got bumped until it was an honorable mention. And I should
Really?
be. Yeah,
It's such a
a
good
great
movie.
You kept weighing the options, and
It's a great movie, but I'm
boom,
honestly putting
Money
it on
Pit.
watchability.
Hit it
What
out.
I watch the most, what I'm most willing to just flick on without putting too much thought. I do like Saving Private Ryan, but if I'm going to watch that, I'm going to watch that. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to put it on.
Every movie I put in my list, I've rewatched a million times, and all my honorable mentions are.
Saving Private Ryan is my number 1 honorable
SPR is
mention.
my number 1, same as Jordan. I think people are going to get mad for us leaving Forrest Gump off.
We all thought about it.
I mean, Toy Story. What are we doing here?
It's a great movie, but hey, this is our watchability. A League of Their Own almost made it on mine. That's like right under Saving Private
I was
Ryan
so close
for
to
me.
League of Their Own, but I just like those other movies better.
So in my head, right away, I had a list, right? Mm-hmm.
Forrest Gump, I didn't know if you would or not.
I made the mistake of looking up his IMDb, and I'm like, wait, he's got like 12 of these fuckers. Like,
Road to Perdition is one that I did not get near the top of my list, but I do want to talk about it because it
My
is
first honorable mention.
has
That
a-
is an underrated movie.
Not haunting piano
score.
music, yeah.
Haunting score.
Great rain scene.
Great father-son movie. I bet I put Road to Perdition on probably 6 of the Mount Rushmores I made up for Road to Perdition.
It definitely made up
Rain
top of your
scene.
rain scenes.
Underrated gangster movies. I probably put it under. And what did we do? Good. We didn't do Goodfellas, but we did Untouchables.
Mm-hmm.
Just great mobster movie, not gangster mobster. You know what I mean?
here's
Tommy
a good
gun
honorable
shit.
mention. It's, maybe one of the best musical endeavors he's been a part of. Kind of his annual, perennial thing that happens. It's David fucking Pumpkins.
Oh, right.
It's just David Pumpkins.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
forget
David
about that.
Pumpkins and SNL could just be like the
Any
whole like.
questions?
It's its own thing.
It's its own thing.
Something I watched a lot as a kid.
I'm glad nobody put Sleepless in Seattle on there. It is not like You Got Mail. It is a snooze fest.
I did not.
It is a snooze fest. Sorry, that's just how I feel.
Splash, I used to watch a lot as a kid. I'm not sure if I haven't seen it in years, so I'm not sure how much it holds
Splash
up.
was in our family's rotation. It was a
Wait, who was
recorded
it?
movie on VHS.
Who is You Got Mail?
Meg
Ryan.
Yeah.
And Sleepless in Seattle's Meg Ryan, no?
Yep. Night and day to me. Night and
Seems
day.
like the same movie.
Yeah, until you watch
Noi?
them both. It's like Pretty in Pink and 16 Candles. They're different. It's very similar, but when you watch them, one's clear
It's
cut
like Dirty
better.
Dancing and Magic Mike. Got it. Yeah.
So obviously, yeah, Toy Story from our childhood is obviously just one to mention. Philadelphia, I mean, Oscar nom. So I mean, that's
Nobody put Castaway as an honorable mention. Even
Great
It's a good
movie, but
It's a tough watch.
it's
man.
also it's long. It's
a long
long.
watch.
It's fine to come in at any point when it's on TV.
not even
but
long. It's just like sad.
It
like,
is sad.
Again, Tom Hanks, America's sweetheart. I'm sure there's a million films that we missed that you wish we would have said. But again, this is just our rewatchable Tom Hanks. If there's anything we missed in any of the categories, make sure you write in on our social media posters. You can find us at Cult Classics Pod. If you have a movie request, you can write us at cultclassicspodcast@gmail.com. As always, if you like what you heard, please make sure to rate and review and share with any of your friends if they want to join our little movie club. Till then, we'll check you on the next episode.